This is the rear ignition coil. Don't mind the broken cable. 4.5 ohms. They're not that good looking, but the visibility is way better. Hi. Good news, I dropped my main camera and it doesn't work anymore. Can somebody give me an award for being a complete dumbass? What the actual f the previous owner was thinking, you know? It's dangerous. Hi and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully I'm gonna be finishing up the chopper in this episode. I was trying to synchronize the carbs off camera. As you can remember in the last episode, the exhaust was popping on the high RPMs, and I was trying to figure out what was happening. And one guy from the garage stopped by and he told me to check the ignition coils, and we did. So these are where the ignition coils are mounted, and this is the front one, and I removed the rear one. This is the rear ignition coil. Don't mind the broken cable. I thought that I was able to remove it, so I twisted them badly, and yeah, I broke it off. So I'm gonna order a new one, but it is what it is. So my theory is that this ignition coil is bad. You check the resistance between these two, and it has to be from 1 to 7 ohms, I believe, and the resistance is 4.5 ohms, which is within the specification. So the second resistance you measure basically is from the wire or from the coil itself, and you measure from one side to the positive terminal, and the specification is from 10 kilo ohms to 25 kilo ohms. So I did that, and let me show you what I found. It's 12.8 kilo ohms. It's within the specification. However, front coil resistance is way different. Let me show you. It's 24 ohms, 24 kilo ohms. It's almost twice as much as the It's almost twice as much as the rear one. I believe that the rear cylinder is getting a much larger spark because the resistance is way less than the front one. So I ordered a new ignition coils as well as new caps. So I'm gonna replace the rear one, see if the resistance is similar as the front one. If it is, I'm not gonna replace the front one. And I'm still waiting for the new tires, which will arrive next week, same as the ignition coils. So in the meantime, I've got some other issues that I need to address. First of all, I need to install the mirrors, which are not here. I bought these mirrors off China, and this is the original one. I only had the one mirror, I don't know why, so I ordered these ones. They're not that good looking, but the visibility is way better, as you can see. Hi. So I'm gonna install these ones, and I'm gonna sacrifice the look of the chopper, at least for now, because I wanna see the road. I need to straighten out the handlebar. As you can see, basically the bike is straight as ever, and the handlebar is not straight. I need to tilt it a bit forward to the left, and that's gonna be it basically. Just a few major jobs like synchronized carbs and changing the tires, and this bike is good to go. I'm so excited. The handlebar looks as straight as possible, so It wasn't that difficult to adjust it. I thought it was gonna be way more difficult, but you just loosen up these two bolts and just try to smash the front wheel into the wall and straighten up this way. Sometimes the right turn signal doesn't work, so I believe I found the issue is underneath the fender. I can't show you right now, but it's full of rust and probably the ground is not contacting the metal, so that's why it doesn't work. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove the rear wheel, since either way I have to replace it. So as I said, I ain't playing no games. There wasn't even one bolt that this impact driver hasn't removed, so now we're gonna lift the Suzuki up by the location where the battery is, because let me show you what I found underneath. It's a disaster, I would say. Okay, there goes the ground wire, and which was touching the fiberglass, and then goes the washer on top, and then the nut. Probably shouldn't be this way. Probably should be that the washer goes first, then the ground wire, and then the nut. And the other side is way fucking worse. This side is full of rust. This is probably why my corner light isn't working correctly. Sometimes it does turn on, sometimes it doesn't, so can somebody give me an award for being a complete dumbass? It turns out that both of the ignition coils were okay. Spark plug caps were faulty. Okay, see? It says 11.5 kilo ohms, which is way too high for standard. I bought some new ones, €5 each, by the way. 5.5, which is the right amount of resistance the spark plug cap should have. So this is a fault from my end. I completely destroyed a good ignition coil. €50 down the drain. Well, it is what it is. I guess I have a new ignition coil at least, because I bought both of them, because I bought the front one and the rear one, but I'm gonna return the rear one because I don't need to change it. I changed the fuel pump. I just got it. It took me almost 2 months to get a fuel pump. So this fuel pump is more powerful than the other one was. Hopefully it's not gonna die on me. I found the issue why the exhaust was popping all the time. And apart from the ignition coils, it was probably fuel and mixture screw.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
Good news, I dropped my main camera and it doesn't work anymore. Visually it looks okay, but probably, you know, when I dropped it, it caused some damage internally, and now there are purple lines all over the place and I can't really film it anymore. And yeah, and I don't have the money to buy another camera, so now I'm filming on a GoPro, so hopefully the footage is not that bad. Anyway, I found the issue why my exhaust was popping when I was revving it, and it is probably because of the lean fuel mixture. I gave it more fuel and now it runs kind of okay, I guess. Sometimes the exhaust pops, but it rarely does that, so I'm gonna keep it as it is. I'm not gonna adjust it anymore. once I completely assembled the bike, I was going for a ride, and funny thing happened. The speedometer cable just snapped on me. It looks fine from the outside, but it is the inside that, you know, the wire snapped and it didn't show speed anymore. I bought the speedometer cable right here. It's fairly cheap, like 10 euros or something like that. So I'm gonna replace it. One other thing, I gotta give credit to the previous owner where the credit is due. Thank God that he sold this bike to me, because my God, I guess he replaced the rear fender. Okay, that's good, you know, it looks okay, you know, it started to grow on me, and at the beginning I kind of hated it, but right now it looks kind of fine-ish, I guess. But it's about the taillights. These are the truck taillights. I'm not even kidding. You know, you put these lights on the semi-trailer, not on a fucking bike. Look at this bulb. It's not supposed to be like this. It only shows the running lights, you know. When I turn on the bike, the light shows, right? Okay, that's good. But when I press on the brakes, it doesn't show anything, you know. That's dangerous, you know. It's such a dumbass thing to do, you know. When you install these taillights, you test them, you know. If you test them, you see there's an issue and you fix it. You not put these taillights and call it a day. Like what the actual the previous owner was thinking, you know. It's dangerous. You know, it's
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So that's why I bought these taillights. These are specifically for the motorcycle. I get it, they're a bit smaller, but it should be okay, I guess. And it's got a proper bulb. It's a multi-purpose bulb, and it's got 3 wires. So one is negative wire, the other one is I guess running light, and the other one is brake light. So, but in order to replace the tail lights, I need to remove the rear tire, because there's literally no space underneath the fender, and I will not be able to rewire the lights. Wish me luck. So I installed one brake light, at least I wired it so to test whether this works or not, and it turns out that it doesn't. When I press on the brake, nothing happens, and the brake light is always on. It means probably there's a stuck switch somewhere. I tested the rear brake switch, it does work alright. So I'm guessing this is gonna be the front one, because I don't feel it clicking, and therefore it's probably stuck on always on. So I need to disassemble the lever and check the connections, and yeah. So last night I spent up to 2 AM trying to figure out why my brake line doesn't work, and I came up to the conclusion that the bulbs were too powerful. That's why I bought LEDs. When this bike was stock, he used one bulb as a rear brake light. Now I'm gonna use 2 of them, so double the amperage usage. So that's why I bought some LEDs, which are not entirely legal, but I have no other way. So let me show you what I did. Turn on the bike. Both of these lights work. Now I press on the brake pedal, just like that. Works. Thank God it works. And now if I test the front ones as well, which this is the little guy which turns on the light. See? This is probably gonna be my solution to these brake lights. I'll try to dim these LED lights so it doesn't seem that obvious. I might paint them with amber paint, so it's got this yellowish color. Now it's all white. It works. I spent additional 10-20 euros on LEDs because I couldn't find them anywhere, so I had to go to the store and overpay. But it is what it is.